Yeah.
No.
And we'll just, we'll just treat this as I would any other live stream. We'll just get everything set up. And just, I guess check my. Well, I'll check it. I'll check my channel and
You're
see
live.
if I am live.
Yep.
Who is that? Did you already apply the thumbnail?
No, I put that as the starting image for the browser. So we're live right now.
Oh shit, okay. We're here. Alright everybody, so this is like our new show. It's almost like a live, I guess it would be, we can consider it a live podcast. It's 0 Hour! I'm here with Zio, which it's almost like your name's Zero, so we could almost call it Zio Hour, but then you'd be like practically taking over my channel.
I take all the credit.
I don't know if that would be...
No, like...
I don't know if that would be a good thing, if we did that. So is that like the image they're seeing right now? Yep. They're not even seeing the Discord, they're just seeing that.
That's the browser source. I can transition over to Fade, and we'll fade back in Discord. That's the browser. I have it cut out so you just see what's on the actual browser.
What's up, Mandor Taco? Oh, Mama. Moon. If you guys want to jump in here in the Discord, just let us know. We got just a couple ground rules that you guys got to follow. Just, do me a favor. And, don't post any BS. You know what I mean? Like, if you're going to be posting images. A couple ground rules. You don't want any crap like that.
My bad.
No, you're good. Let's see. I'm doing, of course, like I would with any other stream. I'm setting up the title, the description, all that. This is kind of just a spot for us to chit-chat. Instead of me just going on PlayStation, starting a stream, and, sitting on the menu of a game and talking. It's kind of like, this is a different way of doing it. And I do like it, but I needed Zio to do it. Until I grab myself a PC, I'm not going to be able to do this, like, every single day. But we wanted to test it out. And I figured, why not give it a shot? I had to literally give him my login information. But, why not, right? Why not give it a try? So, let's upload the thumbnail. Which took me a while to make because I couldn't decide on what I actually wanted. If anybody's saying anything to me in the chat, just give me a second because I gotta bring it up on my phone. Alright. Age restricted, no. You want to restrict your video to adult audiences? No. But yeah, this is gonna basically for the time, like I have my podcast, but this is gonna be the live podcast. This is how we're doing it. I figured I have, we do this a lot, right? When we play the games, we play Battlefront, near the end of the streams, we tend to drift and start talking about all types of different things, and it usually runs to like at least another hour a lot of times. So it's kind of like, why not do it this way? I figured it would be a better way of doing it, and hopefully it goes well. So, well, getting everything set up, we'll let some people fill in here, and then we'll kind of get down to business. Because, Mike, I know you probably have plenty you would like to say about... The one thing me and you, the one thing I thought you and I could really talk about tonight, like, we could talk about the election, we could talk about the fraud, we could talk about the left pulling some tricks, the censorship, all that stuff, because, I mean, I think it's pretty obvious at this point that, maybe it's not even them, but somebody's doing something in the midst of this election, and I don't think it's benefiting the country at this point, as far as I can tell. So, these why can't I get tags to actually, like, Okay, is it like picking up the tag? I don't know what the fuck's going on with that. Sure, we're monetized. But hope everyone's having a great day today. Staying here for a couple more days over at my cousin's. Move my mic a little closer. I've just been kind of hanging out. There we go. There we go. That's what I wanted to see. Shut off the non-skippable ads. We don't want to put you guys through any of that crap. All right. Shut that off. Close that. Close that. Oh, something I wanted to touch upon too that was really disappointing, and I hate to even like bring this up. But so it was confirmed by TechRadar and a couple other sources today that PlayStation 5, when it releases, will not, I repeat, will not have the ability to have its memory expanded. I know. Don't even have to say it. It's irritating. If you go and search PlayStation 5 internal storage right now, it says the internal storage is 825 gigabytes, but according to TechRadar, it says PS5 stuck at 677 or 667 gigabytes. Question mark, Sony confirms PlayStation 5 won't have expandable SSD storage. So let's at least run through this real quick. I'll read it to you guys. Day after we learned that the PS5 internal storage may be capped at 667, Sony has confirmed that we'll have to live with that amount of space for a while. While the console will eventually get expandable SSD storage, you won't be able to buy it at launch, nor in the future. So, like, no time soon, apparently. Now, again, I think that's a little bit of a disingenuous statement because Sony has not even revealed at all what they're going to be doing. They gave us no time frame. They didn't say it's going to be soon. They didn't say it was going to be a long time from now. So we got to be cautious about that. It could literally be a week later. We don't know. I mean, I doubt that. That's like the height of optimism. But moving on with the article, Sony confirmed today that the PlayStation 5's internal slot for M.2 SSDs is disabled by default. This was reported by The Verge, so nothing will happen if you slot one inside. Sony will activate the functionality in a future update, but gives no indication of when this will be. Here's why this is a concern. With each new next-gen game announcement, we're learning just how massive PlayStation 5 game install sizes are. So far, we know that Demon's Souls sits at 66 gigs. The Spider-Man Miles Morales, that's 105, and Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, 133. Put together, just those three games would take up around 45% of your SSD storage, and that's assuming the 667 gigabytes usable storage leak is even accurate. Add in the massive number of titles confirmed on our PlayStation 5 games list, and if their beautiful graphics are anything to go by, you'll likely need a dozen terabytes to host them all. That doesn't mean you can't play as many PS5 games as you can afford. You'll just need to be more careful about deleting games once you're done playing them to help your internal SSD fit your latest purchase. Our only hope is that Sony will make that storage update soon. I agree. And that the cost for a compatible SSD won't be too high. In more positive storage news, this is the upside. Sony released a video today detailing all the different ways to transfer your old PlayStation 4 games data to your new console, including using an Ethernet cable or attaching an external HDD, so at least your backwards compatible games won't take up even more precious space. So yeah, that was disappointing. Not what I was expecting either. Mike, I guess you're in a different... Okay, you're in waiting room. Okay, I'm going to head into the different Discord lobby here. You guys give me just a second.
Discord here.
Well, are there other people that wanted to join us?
Yeah, we got Rogue saying, Mooney in here as well.
Are they here in the chat with us?
Yeah.
Hello.
They're in...
Hello.
Oh, yo, what's up? What's going on?
What's up?
So this is do you guys like this idea? You like this whole hangout thing here?
Yeah, this is cool.
I figured it would be a good way for people that have Discord that are from the chat that aren't here to bullshit and troll and do all that stupid stuff. Like, you guys actually want to interact with the stream because you guys, you know, I know a lot of you aren't necessarily on PlayStation or don't have access to that. Like, so I figured this was probably the next
Also,
best
Tom,
bet.
if you want to drop any links of what you're reading so we can keep up on it on the stream as well, I've got this browser source with 0 hour currently on it. I got nothing to throw in there. If you want to throw anything into the 0 hour text channel, I can bring it over to the main screen. Like I mentioned earlier, when you couldn't hear me, I'm pretty much running Jamie. I'm running Jamie on this one. So you're Joe Rogan and I'm Jamie here, but
I like that. This is the team now. This is how we're doing it. I like that we're able to do this. It's just that I know I need you to do it, and that I can't just do it on any fucking rainy day. But at the same time, you're gonna be available pretty often, so I guess it's okay.
Kikomori, bro. Let's go.
Yeah, let's do it, man. All right. Okay. Wait, what's going on in Presumptuous's server? You successfully... Wait, is my Patreon... Wait, what's going on with Patreon? Alright, it says you success... Did you link my Patreon? Why did it say someone's Patreon successfully got linked to their Discord? Who's got a Patreon?
I have no
Besides
idea.
me. Ah, whatever, I'll ignore it. Alright, so... Cortex 0. Alright, so if I go to the 0 hour here, if I drop this link, that's the Tech Radar story.
Alright, Tech Radar.
There we go. Wow, check it out. Hell to the yeah. It's fucking awesome. Look at that.
And depending on where you want to go, we've already read through. You've already pretty much read the entire thing. So we got the 676 gigabytes.
Hey, Grim Reaper. Let me
667.
say hi to everybody that's in the chat. So, yeah. That's pretty sweet, dude. That's really awesome. Oh, Mamma Mia, Let Me Go, Taco, Mandor Moon, Reborn. He said, why the fuck are people so toxic in Battlefront 2, like clans more than any? You know, man, who knows? He said, I'm ridiculously pissed. Reborn, like, what? Oh, Reborn would like to get in. So, if you guys want to join up, the Discord link is in the description. And then we'll take it from there. Mandor, obviously Zio is here, Moon, we know, Grim Reaper, Dragon's Nest, Aromatic, what's up? He said Human Cortex Post. What's up, Lausch? Chosen One. Let's see, I'm making sure I'm not skipping. Obviously, Grim Reaper, we said hi to you too. Sounds like you got them old 90s keyboards. That's not me, bro. That's not me typing. What's up, Ash? He said lame, where's the gameplay? It's in your ass. That's where it's at right now. It's actually hiding in your rectal cavity. Alright. Okay. So. Well, I want, as badly as I want to share the, can I at least share those screenshots of the CIA data dump?
You can share the screenshots, but you gave me the raw link, so we got the full cut up here, dude.
Oh, let's drop that in then. Shit. Why not? Why not? Now let me go to my internet browser to monitor the stream itself because I can
pull it up on your PlayStation, dude. Pull up your
True
stream on your
that.
PlayStation. Yep.
True that. Yeah, this is there. There it is. There it is.
You're just so blown away by what PCs can do, or like you need one.
Well, no, I mean it's just nice being able to see it on my channel finally.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, like I've been wanting to do this for such a long time. These guys in the chat know. They know. He said I left Pre's Discord, staying in yours post. Well, I mean, hey, man. I like to be in both. Presumptuous is just popping, man. That's like a nice hangout spot. So, what you're looking at here is a document that comes directly from the CIA's own website, cia.gov. This document is complicated, but it goes into everything from time travel to consciousness to REM sleep to astral projection to holographic universe. I mean, seeing this coming from their website is what makes it interesting, because that, to me, says, hey, you may want to look at this. This may have some credibility to it, some legitimacy. So what's it going to look like if you were to scroll through the pages? Because there's those diagrams that are in there.
Yeah, you want me to get done with the diagrams?
Yeah, why don't we show off some of those diagrams? Mandor, I agree. It's definitely a lot of fun over in Presumptuous Discord. Yeah, okay, so yeah, there we go. So as you can see, this is a legitimate CIA document, 29 pages, talking about the different parts of the brain and how they apparently, I guess, interact with reality. I think one of the takeaways from what I was reading is, again, the idea that consciousness creates reality. There's this idea that your conscious future self can interact with your past conscious self. The ability to leave your body, consciously speaking, when you're asleep. Again, that's called astral projection. It would be like you go into a meditative state, and it's like your soul leaving your body, but it's not death. It's not your body dying. It's just your body goes into a trance state, sleep, because sleep really is kind of a trance state. And then your mind, your soul, your consciousness, your inner you, your ego ends up traveling into, I guess, like alternate dimensions. I know it sounds insane, but this is something I actually believe in. Oh, we got 99 cents, but it would probably really translates to 47 cents. Thank you, Dragon's Nest. Always appreciate that. Put that towards that new PC. It adds up. It adds up. When I was a kid, I remember laying down, and I was laying on the floor and I fell asleep. And interestingly enough, I felt like I was still awake. And it was like, whoa, I'm having a really weird dream. I sank through the floor and was looking down into the kitchen and seeing like what was going on in my kitchen. And then I woke up, and I woke up with like a jolt, and you feel like you're having a dream where you're falling, and you wake up and you're like, whoa. And I remembered that, like, what my dad was doing. Now, I hadn't been downstairs in hours. So I went downstairs, and he was doing exactly what I had seen him doing when I was in that weird state. And now, when I was younger, I wanted to believe it, but at the same time, I was like, okay, one logical way of explaining this was maybe my brain subconsciously overheard him say something to my mom earlier in the day, and I was just putting the pieces together. Or maybe I heard him from upstairs, and our ears are more powerful than we realize. Yeah, eventually, Dragon's Nest, eventually. Yeah, Chosen one, right? Just need to send 47 cents, 2,127 more times to get $1,000. That's right. Listen, I thought that was a really fascinating incident, and it always stuck with me, and I even experimented with it, and I did successfully what it seemed like at the time astral projected. Yeah, look at that. The consciousness energy grid. Left hemisphere consciousness grid. Acts like the mind's computer software to reduce input from right hemisphere to verbal symbols and concepts. Right hemisphere consciousness grid reduces three-dimensional holographic image. Yeah, I mean, like, you look at this and you're like, what the hell is this? And then you realize it comes from the CIA's own website. And I have other documents, too. Let me grab the other one. Wait, actually, Mike, do you have the other link I sent you? That second document?
There's one more diagram here before we finish up
here.
Yeah,
let's show that other diagram for sure. Also, if you guys want to see some other stuff tonight on the stream, like if you want me to go play some Battlefront, some Apex, like I'm still probably going to do that, but this I had to do. I had to I had to give this a test run. The Absolute Infinity. I mean, this is like, I'll be honest, dude, I'm not 100% sure. Like, when I saw this diagram, I wasn't 100% sure of what I was actually looking at. Obviously, something to do with waves.
It's like string theory and like well, inference waves and all that. Like everything ties in. Like quantum mechanics is like they call it the science of the soul, right?
You're good, Mandor. Air Max says I'm banned from Discord. Why? How the hell did that happen? Good God Almighty. I see. Yeah, I saw. Yeah. Okay, this is the one that was fascinating. The cosmic egg. Photograph of quasar emitting jet of matter. Got a black hole, got a white hole, the nucleus, the hologram, the universal hologram, direction in which time-space actually flows. And it's funny, you look at that, and Eastern philosophies, modern Eastern philosophies will tell you that time, the dimension of time, like flows like a river. And I look at this, and I'm like, well, isn't that interesting? Point where flow of time, space turns towards opposite pole of ovoid. Dude, this is some nutty stuff.
So like the inference of a black hole and a white hole and shit? Jesus. Universal holograms on both sides. Time space meets in the middle and goes through this white and black hole. Like, this is exactly what I've realized. Like, this is documenting an LSD trip. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, you know what? I think you should. Would you be comfortable? Oh wait, hold on 1 second. Will I be doing any live paranormal activity? You know, or paranormal investigations? Yeah, that'll happen. My friend Alicia's got some weird stuff going on in her house, and I may go live during the course of that investigation. But I got to get some equipment too. Like, I want to get myself a ghost box and some other stuff that would probably be reliable to use in the midst of that kind of investigation. Yeah, dude. Mike, would you be comfortable sharing anything about that LSD trip or any of your LSD trips that would be pertinent to these documents? Because again, like what you and I were talking about earlier was legit. Like the connections were there.
It's really hard to like put it into words without actually having read the document and being able to like in time like draw my own conclusions. But like from what this is, I've like pretty much put this into my journal when I was like in those situations. So this is looking at it and I'm like, oh yeah, I know about that. Only because I've seen it, like physically seen it. It's not like, well, I wouldn't even say physically seen it because people like very, very often misconstrue physical and like in the astral. So like when you astral project and you're seeing something, you're not seeing it. You're not seeing the reality of it. You're seeing a different plane of reality of it. So like these are the things I saw there rather than like actually seeing it in front of me tangible.
Not in this third dimension, I guess is the best way to put it.
Right. Black hole and white hole is like a really big thing. So I'm not sure if this is actually considering the, because I'd have to go through the actual article, read where it, like, because this is talking about the Big Bang and how it all like ties in together and our space in time in general. It's a lot, and I don't know where this is because it says the nucleus of what? Like, what is it referring to?
Well, I guess it's just talking about the was that like the center of the universe in this diagram? It kind of looks that way, right? Like it's the center of like the observable universe.
Yeah, direction of space time, the universal hologram. So like, what's on the outside of it? What's in the speckly issue? Right? Like, what's all that?
So now that's when we can get into what I was saying earlier about the snow globe.
Right.
That makes so much sense. So I'm going to explain this to you guys. I want you to do your best to pay attention to what I'm saying. It may be a little complicated, but it's literally a metaphor that I've created so that I can help you guys understand it. What's up, Vox? He said, let's McFreakin' lose it. What's up, Zach? You're a moron, bro. But that's what makes you great. So I want you guys to follow me here. When you go about your day-to-day life, and there's you can talk to yourself in your own head, you can picture things in your mind, you dream, you daydream, you have thoughts. That's your consciousness. No one really knows what consciousness is. Like, science doesn't know what it is. We don't know where it comes from. There's a very 50-50 debate. It goes like this. Either the brain creates consciousness or consciousness is created from somewhere else and the brain picks it up. I'm of the belief that consciousness comes from somewhere else. That our brains are like radios that are picking up the consciousness frequency. It's getting transmitted to us like how radio waves get transmitted to your radio in your car. So the human body is a car, okay? This is the metaphor we're going to use. Your brain is the radio. Consciousness is a frequency, a radio station that your radio, your brain, is picking up. Which is why some Eastern philosophies say that there is only one mind in the universe. We all are one mind, one consciousness field. I'm reading a book about it right now called The Field. It's really fascinating. I'm going to do a lot more stuff about it. And we're all split into different beings.
I see what they're saying here. Okay, so looking at this diagram here, our galaxies within space, observable space, right? The universal hologram in that Taurus section isn't the actual like observable universe. It's like the universe within the universe that kind of like balances like the inner like an intercellular wall or whatever, like the mitochondria, the powerhouse of the cell. Anyway,
the powerhouse of the cell.
we're on the outside here, and it's like flowing, and it goes in through this white hole nucleus, and that's how time progresses. It's constantly flowing through this what seems to be like a like an ultramassive black hole. It would be because it's the black hole of the universe itself. Right. Or white hole in this case because it's expelling. It's going in and expelling. So it's like it's like a wormhole, like time being a wormhole itself.
That's fascinating. So I guess for these guys in the chat, Foxy, we're glad you're back. Where the hell have you been? Jesus. And he's Cosmic Fox right now. So the cosmic egg belongs to Cosmic Fox. Fantastic. Synchronicities out the ass. So white holes spit stuff out, black holes suck stuff in. I mean, it's really just that simple. Dirty jokes incoming. I understand. Get it out of you if you have to. But
well, that's where people think that the black holes are actually the other side of a white hole in a different dimension.
Because, like, people always wondered what's going on inside of a black hole. What happens beyond the event horizon, the edge of the black hole that's visible to the naked eye if you were to be near it. Mike, have you? All right, I was watching Third Phase of Moon. They're like currently the largest UFO channel on YouTube because Secure Team, Tyler over at Secure Team just doesn't make content anymore for some reason. I don't know why. But they had this theoretical astrophysicist that came on and they interviewed her. Really, really, really brilliant woman. I can't remember the name off the top of my head. But she has this really wild theory that she like went into full detail about as best as she could, where we would be able to, in layman's terms, understand it. She thinks there's a black hole, a tiny, like, miniature black hole at the center of the Earth. Which I had never heard some shit like that before.
Wow, she literally is trying to prove my theory that that's where the soul of our planet is? Awesome, thanks.
Like, what? What's up, Go Easy? He said, why is Cortex teaching my science class right now? Because I make science fun, Go Easy. This isn't even science, this is metaphysics, quantum physics, and
it's
everything
super tiny, right, and it has a very light pull compared to a supermassive black hole. Yeah, no, that's exactly where I believe that, like, a lot of things that like hold the energetic barriers, like such as like our fields, like the ozone layers, like a lot of the energetic fields. Let's not even like go about the physical things like the ozone, like energetic fields.
Said Horizon event Cortex reference to Apex Season 7. Stop. No, there's synchronicity. Moon says science fun ? Ha. Okay, buddy. Why am I talking in chat when everyone could just hear me in the stream? Cheese. I don't know. That's on you, Moon. Are you here?
Yeah, I'm here. Hello.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. All right, listen. This is where I'm going to make things more fun. Since if it's beginning to bore you, this is what I'm leading up to. In my opinion, I feel, and listen, I am not a scientist. I am none of these things, but I feel like I may have come up with a way to explain how people could, in theory, predict the future. Our universe. The Earth, the Sun, the Moon, the planets, the stars, everything that we see with our telescopes. Let's take all of the visible universe and let's just smush it into a snow globe. We can only see what's going on inside of the snow globe. We are unaware of what's going on outside of it, and we cannot observe it. We cannot see it. taking the idea that we had earlier, that I brought up about consciousness being a field that our brains pick up like radios. If this is called consciousness non-locality, what that means is that your brain isn't creating consciousness. It's picking it up. This is also known as mind-body dualism, or mind-body duality. You are picking up your brains are picking up consciousness, this energy, this whatever it is, this very powerful thing. It could be formless. We don't really know what it is, but it's what gives us our minds. And it's coming from outside of our actual universe. It's coming from another dimension. We'll just call it another dimension. So our universe is inside of a snow globe. He said Cortex the Science Guy. It's very funny. The first time my voice has been sent to the public? Cheese? Yeah, definitely cheese. Your consciousness is coming from outside of the snow globe. But we, our scientists, our telescopes and things, we can't observe it. We can't like look through space and then peer out past the edge of space and go through that and then look and be like, oh yeah, there's consciousness sitting outside of everything. So we're in the snow globe, but yet we're picking up something that's outside of the snow globe. Now, if let's say Moon is consciousness, our friend here, Mooney in the chat. Let's say
Hello.
He is a being. You are a being that we will call consciousness. Not saying consciousness is a being, but it's metaphorical. You're sitting in a chair staring at the universe that's in the snow globe. You're outside of it. But yet you're basically sending messages to all the living beings that are inside of the snow globe. You can see everything that's happening because you're outside of it. You can see all of it at once, past, present, future, everything that was, is, and will ever be. Essentially, you are God. This is how you could explain how someone would predict the future. Our brains are naturally picking up information that is coming from outside of our actual dimension. Therefore, if consciousness exists outside of the snow globe, outside of our third dimension, outside of our universe, our physical reality that we live in every day, if it's outside of that, but yet our brains are picking up information in here, but from outside of it, that's how you would explain. Like, it's an omnipotent observer. It's like being able to see an entire movie all at once. It's like being able to read an entire book all at once. Or another good way of saying it is like if I write the word California on a wall and I get real close to it, I'm now in the third dimension. All I can see is the letter C. Now, if I back away, and I'm now out of the third dimension, I'm now in the consciousness field. I can now see it says California. I can see all of it. So if your consciousness comes from outside the third dimension, and consciousness has access to everything as far as time is concerned, like the dimension known as time, you can know anything, everything, all at once. This would make sense why people sometimes have shared dreams. People wake up from a dream sometimes and say, hey, I just had this weird dream, and then boom, whatever they dreamt about happens. There are people who are, referred to as being gifted, that are able to predict the future. They're able to see things that actually happened in the past that they were not present for. What's up, Cookie Monster? Mike, I think that would be a good time for us to roll into that other document.
Yeah. I haven't actually opened that document. Let me check.
It's small. I think it's only a page, but it's really
document.
interesting.
All right.
It's really, yeah. The PDF crap.
So what do we
It's
got
funny
here?
though. All the most interesting reads that I find are always like some long PDF. And as you guys can see, this is coming directly from the CIA's library. So let's zoom in on that if possible. Can you zoom in on that?
Just take a minute to catch up, latency and all that.
These are findings that, you know what? I'll make it easier. You can
I got it.
zoom in for
Stream
them.
too.
Let me pull it up in my files as well.
All right.
All right, so this really blew my mind when I saw this one earlier. This one I found on my own, actually, just going through the CIA's files. It was marked top secret. Subject parapsychology, which is the study of psychic phenomena. It says the
this
signet
is the Jupiter sighting.
cosmic threat.
Jupiter projection. Pretty sure.
Right.
Yep.
It says 1, remote viewing. Laboratory demonstrations have shown that gifted individuals using remote viewing can describe small details in a room or describe a signet site and particular types of antennae. These capabilities threaten to uncover covert sites and threaten targeting capability, collect individual types of written or printed signet information, uncover personnel identities and behavior in covert or supporting third-party signet operations, determine EAM message and PAL coded information. This may sound, all right, now, it may sound like gibberish to you, but I'll explain it. Telekinesis. Laboratory demonstrations have shown that gifted individuals using telekinetic abilities can alter the state of objects or change electrical or magnetic fields. These capabilities threaten to cause malfunctions in critical ADP circuits, cause communications equipment to malfunction, prevent automatic electronic keyers to malfunction. There are a number of other parapsychological threats, including those to personnel, which cannot be described in this paper. What you are reading here is proof that psychic abilities exist, according to research done in laboratories funded by the Central Intelligence Agency of the United States of America. That's what this is. That is what this is.
They say laboratory demonstrations have shown gifted individuals using remote viewing can determine small details in a room or describe a signet site in particular types of antennae.
They're being very specific about that, though, because if you watch the documentary called Third Eye Spies, they've done so much more than that. They were able to witness things happening in the past. They were able to describe sites on other planets, the moon, like...
Well, I had
it gets crazy.
I had a member of the military come up to me at a bar one time and explain how he was like part of the Illuminati, shows me this like illustrious ring he has on and just like starts going off about all these experiments because I told him, you know, schizophrenic, hearing things, seeing things, there's like a whole bunch of shit going on. He's like, oh, you wouldn't believe some of the things we do to people. And I'm like, what?
Jesus. You know, it's always at a bar too because they get a little bit of alcohol in them and it's like the truth serum.
Yeah, he was like definitely military. Like he was
to.
Built like a Marine. Like he was definitely part of something.
No kidding.
Yep.
Yeah, guys like Dr. Hal Puthoff, Dr. Hal Puthoff is responsible for the invention of the laser beam. Okay, so this guy is not a kook. We're talking about a very brilliant man. Very brilliant. He was a part of the CIA's secret remote viewing program. If you guys don't know what remote viewing is, remote viewing would be like, let's say Go Easy is at his house right now. I'm all the way over here at my cousin's. I go into a meditative state, and I will then describe what is in the room with him. If he's eating something, I'd be able to tell you what he's eating. It's literally, you are remotely viewing an area that you are not present in. You know, like when you grab, that's where the word, you know, when they use the word remote, the word remote really means to control or to act upon from a distance.
I'm going to send you something here. Let me get down to the actual telephone conversation and I'll send this to you as well. You can go through, scroll down a bit for the actual transcript.
Well, yeah, this is some, I see Stranger Things references in the chat, yeah. Alright, so what am I looking at here? Where did you... Okay, let's see here. Another CIA.gov link. These are the best. There's some really wacky stuff in here, man. And you're like, this is on the CIA's website? Yeah, and that's why I had to show it to you guys. An experimental psychic probe of the planet Jupiter. Yeah, I know about this. Yeah, Ingo Swann and Hal Puthoff were like... Era constituents, man. This is from the 70s, yeah.
73. Like this is how we discovered there were moons around Jupiter. Like what?
Right. We discovered. So believe it or not, guys.
Rings. Oh my bad.
Right. No one knew that Jupiter actually had very thin rings around it, like Saturn. Much harder to see. Saturn, you know, it's obviously visible with a very high-powered telescope. Jupiter, on the other hand, not so much. These papers, these documents, predate the actual... Like, all right, when you look at the date here, let's see here. April 27th, 1973. Why don't we cross-reference that? Let's see. When were Jupiter's rings discovered? Dude, I swear to God, if I see anything past 1973. Because I had always heard this is how it was actually discovered, was with Ingo Swann and the remote viewing program that the CIA had going. All right.
I got it right here. Oh shit! Damn. Hold up.
What do you got?
I got a Google search that literally fucking like what? Yo, get out of here.
What's it say?
This is 1979.
There it is. Yep, 1979. Jupiter's rings were discovered in 1979 by the passing Voyager 1 spacecraft, but their origin was a mystery. Data from the Galileo spacecraft that orbited Jupiter from 1995 to 2003 later confirmed that these rings were created by meteorite impacts on small nearby moons. Now, you go to the document, and they're clearly describing rings around Jupiter in 1973 with just their minds.
Wow.
Oh, we got a donation in the chat. We got $5. Rolando, yo Cortex, how you doing? Hope you're doing good today. I hope you're doing good today too, Rolando. Thank you so much for the donation. I hope you and everybody else are enjoying this show. I really, really appreciate the donation, man. Thank you so much. It means a lot. Glad to have you here, of course. Mike, we just how nuts is that, right?
Bro, okay, so mushroom trip time. So I had a situation where I was like, you know, in this mental space because, you know, of all like my I guess it would call it sensitivity to all these things and all whatever.
Right. Obviously they exist in some capacity.
Well, I could always see these things since having been in Florida. Not so much now unless I really focus, but like I could literally point during my time in Florida, I could literally point at a portion of the sky, say, that's Mercury. Pull out my phone, pull up a star graph, point it at it, and Mercury would be that point of space. I could see planets through our own planet. But sometimes, it'd be hazy or whatever. It'd be like, oh, that's Uranus or whatever. Maybe it's Neptune sometimes, but there's definitely something exactly where I pointed. So that's my understanding of, like, that exact thing, the remote viewing situation, because I could go there in the Astral and, like, literally go up to it and be like, wow, this is a really big planet or whatever. Like,
Mandor. Whoa, Mandor said, oh my God, I just had deja vu. No joke. I felt this before. Bro, all right. And do you know what's so funny? Do you know what I was literally just thinking about and I was just about to say? And I'm mad as hell I didn't say it right before Mandor just said that. Okay, so yesterday I was looking up the top 10 greatest cyberpunk anime ever made because I like cyberpunk stuff and anime tends to nail cyberpunk very well. I got to finally watch the original Ghost in the Shell from 1995, standalone complex, but then I found a show called Ergo Proxy, which is actually really interesting.
I gotta check it out.
Now, this is now it may seem minor, but we'll add all these things up, and then you'll be like, "Ooh, this kind of spooky." I'm watching Ergo Proxy, and in my head pops like I randomly have music pop into my head all the time. I don't know what sets it off. I think it happens to just about everybody. A song just pops into your head sometimes. Paranoid Android from Radiohead pops into my head. I get to the end of the episode of Ergo Proxy, episode 1. What's the end credit song? Paranoid Android by Radiohead. I look at the clock. It's 11:11. I go to YouTube. I decide to put on Paranoid Android. And I'm looking through the comments. I randomly click on it. I my finger at, like I did one of those accidental taps on my phone where I accidentally clicked on a comment and like got to read all the secondary comments. And it said Ergo Proxy anyone ? Like, and all of that shit happened at once. It's 11:11. I hit the song after it was in my head, and I find that comment, and I'm just like, okay, dude, what the fuck? Like, I've had a lot of synchronicities happen, like, over the past couple days. This one's kind of silly, but I was observing my cousin's cat eating food outside earlier, because this cat lives outside, and I don't get to see her a lot, and I heard the noise, and I was like, oh, is she coming to eat? And I'm looking through the window, and there happens to be the silhouette of a cat on the window, like, a sticker like she had decorated for Halloween, and I'm looking at the cat, and then my eye just shoots to the right, and I just happen to be staring at the cat while there's a cat sticker in my peripheral, like just by chance, and it's 11:11 again. Like that's like 11:11 follows me everywhere. I had a day where I saw 11:11 like 5 different times on 5 different clocks that were all set differently. You know, one was like 2 hours behind, the other one was like 45 minutes fast, the other one was like exact time. Because some people are like, oh, it's just your brain being trained to look. This is Optimus Prime is here and says Autobots roll out. What's up, dude? That's why the doing this kind of stream is great, because we can do stuff like that. We got that on deck right now. I am Joe Rogan, and you're watching the Joe Rogan Experience, and this is my friend Jamie. Jesus Christ. This is actually going way better than I thought it was going to. Way better. Oh my god, last week I had a dream of you talking about conspiracies and Foxy saying something and being here. And here I am. Oh my god, Cortex, says Mandor. Wow. I guess we're in the right place at the right time, which coincidentally was like the catchphrase I used to use on all my YouTube videos, which I stopped using because I thought it sounded kind of cheesy. But I guess it sticks, right? I guess it really is like a thing. Okay, now I want to read something to you guys that's from. I have it in my notes. These are I have notes from my podcast episodes, but I just feel like it would be kind of cool to be able to bring this stuff up right now. Okay, documents. Okay, no, wait, notes. Yep, that's where I want to be. Scroll down. Alright. Since we're talking about all these strange ideas, how about this? Okay, I must have gotten rid of it. Alright. Everybody here know what the Mandela effect is? I would imagine that a lot of people do. This just popped into my head, and I just remembered that I have this entire list of the Mandela effect. And if you don't know what the Mandela effect is, your brain's about to fucking leak. I promise you. The Mandela effect is when somebody has a clear memory of something that never happened in this reality. Some speculate that parallel realities exist, and that we've been sliding between them without realizing it. So I'm going to read you a list. Some of them I feel like can be explained, whereas others not so much. And I just want to at least see how everybody reacts to these, especially if you've never heard of them, because that is where things get fucking interesting. So, to start off the list, we actually have a Star Wars reference. We got ourselves... Alright, so we got C-3PO having a silver leg. Now, I feel like... Now, he does. If you go look and search it, you'll find information. C-3PO actually has a silver leg. A lot of people don't know this. Everybody remembers him just being plain gold. And if you buy an action figure of C-3PO, chances are he's only going to have the gold leg. But... one way you could explain this is just reflections and lighting. The metal was silver, but it was more of like a mirror, so it was like reflecting his other leg and the environment and stuff. But remains to be seen. The show Sex in the City, was it Sex in the City or Sex and the City? I always remembered it as Sex in the City, but it is actually Sex and the City. The human skull, eye sockets covered in bone instead of being empty. If you look at a skull, I actually remember human skulls. You would be able to look way deeper past the inside of the eye socket. Like you could go way back. And now there's just a bone covering right there. So that one I remember. This one, but this one doesn't apply to me and probably doesn't apply to any of you, but the Charles Lindbergh child kidnapping. Thousands of people swear the baby was never found. This includes the kidnapper never being caught. Again, if you know anything about that, that's fine. This one really gets me, because this one affects me. When I was a kid, I was a big Pokemon fan, all right? I used to collect the cards, I played the games, I used to draw pictures, I was real into it when I was very young. Pikachu's tail having no black tip, when many people remember him having it. I remember Pikachu having a black tip on his tail. Oh, I mean, like,
that.
It's like so damn clear in my head. Like, when I see Pikachu with that black tip, because, you know, people have edited images to show what it would look like if he does have it, because now he doesn't. That's the one that looks right to me. Whereas now, the plain yellow tail, that doesn't look right to me. The Thinker statue. There's a very famous statue of a man in a thinking position. He's crouched, and he has his hand underneath his chin. Now, I remember it being a fist. But if you go look at it right now, if you go search the Thinker, his hand is actually flat. It's not a fist. There's a very famous painting of Henry VIII that people remember him holding a turkey leg. Well, if you go look at that painting, he's now holding a purse. Why the fuck would Henry VIII be holding a purse? Yup. Now, this one doesn't apply to me, but for some people, they do. But this one does not apply to me. Many people believe there are more than 50 states, specifically 52 or even less. But it's always been the 50 nifty United States. You know, we even had a rhyme for it. I remember it.
Yes.
Some people remember Martin Luther King Jr.'s assassination differently. Theorists consider his assassination what's called a pivot point. That's when an event has changed so many times that our timeline has settled into what it is now. And this one's fucking weird. Okay? There is a James Bond movie with a character, a villain known as Jaws. At the very end of the movie, there is a scene where a girl smiles at him. Jaws has really fucked up teeth, and the whole point of that scene was because the girl smiling at him had braces on. It was kind of like they could relate to each other. If you go watch that scene now, she doesn't have braces on. She just smiles, and it doesn't make sense anymore. And that's weird. Now, how many of you here have played Monopoly? I'm sure a lot of you have played Monopoly. Like, damn near all of us have played that game. Okay. The Monopoly guy, the little mascot for Monopoly. I always remembered him wearing a monocle over his eye, the little glass piece. He does not have a monocle. If you go look at it right now, he doesn't have one. And I always remembered him having one.
Hold on.
Yeah. Yeah, go look at it. Think I'm playing. Think I'm playing with you, Moon.
No.
Go look at it.
No.
Go look at it, man.
There's no way. I remember him having a monocle. What?
Right.
Impossible.
Yep, no monocle. No monocle.
I can
There's
kind
no
of explain that
monocle.
one away. During that time, Planters peanuts were real big. Back in like the late, early 90s, mid 90s.
Oh, I see where you're going with this.
Planters peanut had a monocle and a cane, but the Monopoly guy didn't, and we just all assumed that rich people had monocles.
I really always remembered it as such, but UNSC, what's up? Toot. I see some of you guys coming in. Okay. Now, this one gets me because when I was learning how to read as a child, my mother even made a rhyme to help me remember the sound that the letters E, I, and N would make in certain situations. I remembered them as the Berenstein Bears. But no, of course not. No, there's something weird happened, and now they're the Berenstain Bears. Stain. I clearly, very clearly remember Steen. Stein. So that one always grabbed me. It made me feel strange. I remember the vehicle that JFK was in when he was assassinated having 4 seats, but in fact it has 6. If you go look at the video of the assassination or any of the very famous photos from Texas on that awful day, he actually has a vehicle with 6 seats. Now this is a good one too. A lot of people remember a movie from the 90s starring the comedian known as Sinbad. They remember a movie being called Shazam starring Sinbad. I remember that too. That movie no longer exists. There's no record of it on IMDb. It's not under his credentials. It has up and vanished. It never happened. And I remember it. I remember that, very distinctly. This one really, this one's probably going to smack some of you in the face. You guys know the very, very, very famous story of Snow White, okay? The evil witch goes up to the mirror, all right? I want everyone in the chat right now, tell me, and Moon, if you guys know, and Mike and Moon, if you already know what I'm about to say, don't spoil it. But if you know the answer to this question, if you think you know what I'm about to say, what does the witch say to the mirror?
I actually have no idea.
You don't know. Okay, no, that's cool. Cortex, do you remember Flintstones or Flintstones? Flint. Flint. I don't remember him having a monocle. Yeah, so that's what's interesting about the Mandela effect is that it seems to affect certain people and others it doesn't. We don't really know what it is, but right. No, yeah, so the witch says, "Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all?" Does that sound familiar to anybody here?
Yes.
Right. Well, guess what? She doesn't say it at all. She says, "Magic mirror on the wall." And you know what's really funny? Disney even has merchandise that if you like look at the back of the box, it even says "Mirror, mirror on the wall." It's on the merchandise, but yet it's not in the movie anywhere. That one really blew my mind, and I'm like, that doesn't make sense. So in my notes here, it says, dreams that are vivid may be our consciousness tapping into a parallel universe when our conscious mind is sleeping and may allow for our subconscious to pass through the windows of other realities and access what our alternate selves are doing in their universes. So that's an interesting thought. There's a lot, I mean, I have a lot of interesting notes, but I mean, there have been so many times where I've dreamt about something and it has seemingly come true. I'll share one with you guys. It kind of freaks me out. I don't always like talking about it because then I remember it and it just kind of bugs me out a little bit. But when I was, it was probably in like 1999 if I had to guess the year. And I had this really, really weird dream one night that really like stuck with me and I couldn't understand why. In the dream, I walk into my parents' room and I look out the window, and there's like the back end of like a fucking 747 sticking out of my house. It's like literally like there's a plane sticking out of my house. I'm like, what the fuck is, you know what I mean? It's just really weird, random. The scene of the dream pivots, and all of a sudden I'm in an office building hallway, and I'm looking down the hallway, and behind me is a wall, a window, there's elevators. I turn around, I look straight ahead. That wall is missing, and there's paper flying around. And then years later, 9/11 happens, and I'm like, dude, that dream, you know. I'm not saying I predicted 9/11. I'm not claiming to be a psychic. I'm not claiming to be a medium. But I've had so many of these weird things happen to me in my life. It makes me wonder, I'm not saying that I'm gifted or that anybody else is even gifted. But perhaps maybe it's true. But I remembered that dream. That really happened. I swear on every dead friend and family member I have. Like, I could not get over that one. And when 9/11 was happening, like, I guess this whole podcast, or whatever we want to call this live stream at this point, is really turning into a discussion about consciousness, the nature of consciousness. When 9/11 was going on, I didn't know, like, our teacher didn't tell us a damn thing until, like, damn near 10 o'clock. And I had a massive headache at, like, 8:03, 8:04, right when the planes were first hitting in New York City. And what's interesting about that is that I had absolutely no history of headaches. I had barely ever had a headache in my life at that point. But the night before 9/11, on September 10th, I remember walking into my room, staring at my alarm clock. It was 8:13 p.m. I was getting ready to sit down and relax, and I had this really weird thought pop into my head just out of nowhere. Not weird, but like looking back on it, and now it is. And I said to myself, like, my conscience, like that voice in my head that just that when you just have a random thought pop into your mind just for no reason. And it was like, every day this school year has been like the same thing, like Groundhog Day. Like, you wake up, you go do this, you brush your teeth, you watch the music videos on MTV, you walk out the door, everybody arrives at the same time, you get on the bus, everyone's on the same seat. Just like the same thing over and over again. It's like everything was on repeat, and I just had this fucking feeling that like tomorrow that cycle was going to get interrupted. I didn't even it wasn't even like a bad feeling. It was just a feeling that something different was about to go down the next day. And sure enough, it definitely did. And I've had I see what you're saying there, Moon. I have serious deja vu. Sometimes I'll relive a moment I swear that has already happened. Me too, man. One time, and I'm going to try not to confuse anybody because it even confuses me when I say this. I was 16 when this happened because I'll never forget it. I had deja vu about having deja vu about having deja vu. Just try wrapping your head around that. It's the best way I could describe it, and it went on for like 5 minutes. It was like it felt like I was predicting the future milliseconds before everything was happening. Like, I knew that I was about to go do this, and that this person was going to say this, and that I was going to see this, and that this other thing would go down, and then I would hear this thing, and then I would know this thing. It was insanity. It was so weird. Yo, how the fuck? I mean, I understand, but wait, repeatedly that. Yeah, man, Dora, like that particular example, that only happened to me one time. That was only one time. But it was really weird. And it always stuck with me because of how powerful it was. Deja vu is one of those things where some people have some theories on that like there's another you in another universe, and that when you are in sync with that being, or they've already done what you're doing, or things like that, that's when you kind of get this weird feeling because you share the same consciousness but you're split into 2 different timelines, is what they say. Oh no, Mike, have you ever had anything like that with deja vu?
Deja vu, I can't say I remember anything. Mine's a bit hazy due to all the issues I've had, so like those kinds of specific key moments I'd likely not remember. I remember having deja vu, and I remember having deja vu like that. I don't know what year it was, but I was thinking...
Well, like a layered deja vu? Like...
Yeah, like it was like you were just seeing the second in front of you for like a elongated period of time, and you just kind of like stuck, and you couldn't really like do anything because you were so confused at like how it kept happening repeatedly. Yeah, no, I've had that, and you saying that kind of makes me wonder, did it happen at the same time? Did it happen for everybody, and everybody was just too put off by it that you wanted to talk to somebody about it at the same time, but you'd see everybody's expression, and that's why nobody spoke about it, because everybody felt equally as uncomfortable at that time. Like, what?
That's actually, I really, really like that question. How often do people have deja vu, don't say anything about it, and then it passes when like 7 people in the room with them had the same experience? I wonder. Alright, this is going to sound stupid, but this has happened in life many times. I've noticed to other people too. I don't know if this has ever happened to anybody else, but have you ever noticed that sometimes you'll have gas and you'll fart or something, you'll pass wind, and like 2 other people in the room, like 3, like a minute later, do the same thing? Have you ever noticed that? What the fuck is that about? Why does that happen? I swear to God, like I'm not even trying to be funny. It is funny, but I'm not playing around when I say that. Like the other day, my cousin was here, and I heard him rip ass in the fucking laundry room, and then like 3 seconds later, I was just like, and I was just like, what the hell? Like, what is like? It's kind of like how yawns are contagious. I just thought that was really strange. Amandor says, I had a dream a year ago about me playing a Star Wars game and talking on YouTube. Funny enough, I play Battlefront 2 and talk on Cortex Zero. Moon, I remember once I had deja vu, my mom was folding clothes. I was doing something in the same room and was looking out over my backyard, and I did the same movements and such, and then deja vu clicked. That's a strange feeling, isn't it? What's up, Riffs? He says, what's this? This is like a podcast type situation, man. That's what we're doing right now. How are you, bro? Moon says, like, it wasn't like, oh, this has happened before. It was like, I'm reliving the moment currently that I've experienced before in the exact same motion. He said off-brand podcast, like coughs and yawns. It's not. No, it's just, this is like, we're able to do a lot of stuff here. Oh yeah, I was just rewinding through the stream. You brought up the Pikachu thing. Yeah, that's great. This is like a live podcast, basically. You know, now that I'm looking at the logo, I actually really like that.
Right.
It's really not that bad. How long have we been going for so far? Where are we at?
I would say
49 minutes? No, hold
64. 64 minutes.
Yes.
64. Not bad. Not bad at all. I can also tell you guys too that I've had like I remember that this was a weird one. So, I woke up one morning. I wasn't technically involved in this. I just observed. My mom and my brother had the same dream one night. They both dreamt about tornadoes. And then that day, there was like the record-breaking outbreak in the Midwest. It was in like 2013 or 2014. And I remember that one. That one stuck with me. I don't know. Okay, I got to bring this story up. It's a little like off topic, but like it's still a weird story. So I was going out with this girl when I was 16, and her dad told me this really, really fucking eerie story from his childhood. One night, he's laying in bed. He says he remembers this, too. And I was able to corroborate this with other family members and such, so like I knew he wasn't like just messing with me or pulling my leg. And he wasn't that type of guy. He was actually a really honest guy. Had a science degree, really intelligent, really honest, just... I have a lot of respect for the guy still, very much so. So he was laying in bed one night, and he saw something really strange. But he wasn't sure if it was a dream. He wasn't really sure what it was. He wakes up the next morning, he goes downstairs for breakfast, and he says, "Mommy, Daddy, Grandma was at the window last night, and she had wings." And his grandmother had passed away the night before. And he didn't know. They didn't tell him yet. Check that shit out. That was a weird one. There's another story he told me. I have to literally save that for another time because I'm not even sure I can even talk about it because it's like that heavy. And there's like, if you guys knew what it was, you'd be like, oh, okay, yeah. Like there's implications with that one. And I got to be very, very, very careful about that one. I'm not making that up. I'm not doing that for like clicks and views and shit. Like I'm very serious when I say that. Like this is one of those situations where I am not sure if I can talk about it because it could get some people in trouble, and that's not cool. Sci-fi. I even think about deja vu, but this is different. When people I don't know say something that I even thought first, it's weird, but I'm just a bit overwhelmed of how it happened. Yeah, I mean, shared thoughts, shared emotions, like without expression. This happens a lot. Because sometimes, like in life, there are so many like coincidences. We'll just call them that for lack of a better word. They happen, and you're just you're left feeling like, what are the actual mathematical chances of this really going down? Like, what's the probability that this would happen without something strange being a part of it? I've had things like that where it's just like there's just no way. There's just no way. And then there's the whole idea that, we're living in a simulation. Who knows? I like that idea, because if we are living in a simulation, that means that there's a simulator. And that maybe when you die, you wake up.
Alicization. Fucking
Neo
literally
style.
The Matrix. Like, you see the Sword Art Online new season, Alicization, where everybody's like an AI, like crystal. They think they're living in this, like, this actual world that exists, but they're actually just AI.
What?
Yeah.
Is this the latest Sword Art?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. They end up pulling out one of the people and like putting them in like a humanoid like cyborg robot frame, like that's metal and like looks like a human and shit.
What?
But, yeah.
Bro, is this dubbed yet?
Yeah.
I
it's fully
guarantee you I can find it on the site that Lausch sent me. Like, shout out to Lausch for sending me that site.
Grab it on the site
that
I sent you, homie. Like the actual legitimate source site. I gave you the details.
Where did you send that?
Verve.com, homie.
What is
VRV.
it?
VRV. Remember? We were talking about all these animes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, just go check it out there. Like, yeah, I'm pretty sure I can check. Give me a minute.
Lausch had sent me 9 anime or something like that. Forget what the hell the name of it is. It's such a good site. Like, everything works on my phone. It's all free. There's dubs. There's subs. I mean, it's fucking awesome. Let me go there now and search Sword Art and see what I can grab, because they only have so much of Sword Art on Netflix. Listen, and you guys know I'm not like a massive anime geek. You know what I mean? Like, but I like the best of the best. I like good stories, whether it's a cartoon, a movie, a book, a show.
Oh, long-awaited dub. Yeah. Final season for the final season of Sword Art. Oh, for the final season of the World Alicization, they just started dubbing it November 7th. So, probably not. but definitely worth the watch, even if subtitled.
All right, so Alicization.
Yeah, Alicization.
Whoa.
Oh god, there's so many. Yeah,
there's so many on the site.
There's a bunch of different things. Hold on. Oh, Alicization is dubbed, or the Underworld isn't, because it's like a 2-part thing.
Right. I still have to watch the movie too. I just don't know where everything happens in the timeline. Like, do you know when the first Sword Art movie takes place, as far as like seasons? Like, where is it in the story?
Before Alicization.
All right. Because right now, I'll tell you exactly where I'm at. I am at the part where they're confronting Death Gun. If that sounds any bit familiar to you.
After that, I believe. Yeah, after
that. For those
of
you in the chat that wonder what Sword Art Online is, it's quickly becoming one of my favorite animes of all time. Like, this shit is, I mean, beyond brilliant. Like, it's, I don't know what it is, dude. I'm like super obsessed with it. It's really,
the way they
really
wrap
great.
it up. The way they wrap up the Alicization arc, you're going to fucking love the cliffhanger they leave you off on, dude. Oh my god, you're gonna be so hyped.
Is Kirito in it?
Kirito's in all of it, yeah. He's like the main character
Thank
in the series.
God. Well, because I saw the Gun Gale spinoff, and I saw that Kirito wasn't in that, and I was like,
yeah, no, that was a side story. Complete side story, not connected.
Okay, that's its own thing. Yeah, well, apparently a lot of people didn't like it. I didn't really dig.
A lot of people actually liked it. Actually liked it better than Sword Art.
I'll have to watch more if I can give it a chance.
Anyway, we're off topic.
Really? Yeah, but I feel like we can drag this into consciousness. So, being that consciousness is what I think it is. It's very powerful. There's going to come a point in time where humans are going to merge with machines. I mean, it's inevitable, I think, because there's so many people racing towards it. There's so many people working on it.
Neuralink?
I do feel like, yes, right, like dude, the fucking nerve gear, like.
Yeah.
This is going to be a thing. The Oasis, the Matrix, Ready Player One, Blade Runner. Like this is the future that I actually envision.
Cyberpunk 2077.
Cyberpunk 2077, Blade Runner. That's what the world's going to look like when I'm like my parents' age. Is what I feel like. When I'm like in my 60s, I'll have the option to extend my life with mechanical parts.
Actually, buddy of mine showed me a study about you die in the process, but you upload your consciousness to a mainframe or a chip or something of the sort, and it could be like copied and printed. It's basically print yourself at that state as many times as you want. Like, but your body dies. It's like it's actually a study that's going on right now.
Yeah, well, they had the. DARPA was doing something called the Avatar program, where they were literally trying to do exactly what you see in James Cameron's film, Avatar, where they're able to transfer a conscious mind into another body. That body, whether it's organic, biological, machine, they're just trying to figure out a way to take the mind and move it somewhere else. I mean, I think it's possible, because if it is what I think it is, where you're picking up that consciousness field, in theory, you could reroute that signal.
Because this could be iffy for YouTube, but check that.
A startup is okay. Oh, all right, we're gonna read this. A startup is pitching a mind uploading service that is 100% fatal. What? I guess if you knew you were dying, right? Like,
it's even further than that because of what it implies. Like, it's basically it's storing your soul data. Like,
yeah, Nectome. Is that how you say it, or is it Nectome?
Not sure.
Nectome. Wait, now why do you think this is iffy for YouTube?
It's a picture of the exposed human brain. Like,
no. You can get no. Go ahead. You're fine. You're fine. At least show them that, and I'll read them. The article. Nectome. We'll just say Nectome. Nectome will preserve your brain, but you have to be euthanized first. A startup is pitching a mind uploading service that is 100% fatal. The startup accelerator Y Combinator is known for supporting audacious companies in its popular 3-month boot camp. There's never been anything quite like Nectome, though. Next week at YC's Demo Days, Nectome's co-founder Robert McIntyre is going to describe his technology for exquisitely preserving brains in microscopic detail using a high-tech embalming process. Then the MIT graduate will make his business pitch, as it says on his website. What if we told you we could back up your mind? So yeah, Nectome is a preserve your brain and upload it company. Its chemical solution can keep a body intact for hundreds of years, maybe thousands, as a statue of frozen glass. The idea is that someday in the future, scientists will scan your bricked brain and turn it into a computer simulation. That way, someone a lot like you, though not exactly you, will smell the flowers again in a data server somewhere. This story has a grisly twist, though. For Nectome's procedure to work, it's essential that the brain be fresh. The company says its plan is to connect people with terminal illnesses to a heart-lung machine in order to pump its mix of scientific embalming chemicals into the big carotid arteries in their necks while they are still alive, though under general anesthesia. The company has consulted with lawyers familiar with California's 2-year-old End-of-Life Option Act, which permits doctor-assisted suicide for terminal patients, and believes its service will be legal. The product is 100% fatal, says McIntyre. That is why we are uniquely situated among the Y Combinator companies. There's a waiting list! Brain uploading will be familiar to readers of Ray Kurzweil's books or other futurist literature. Ray Kurzweil is a transhumanist. This whole idea of transhumanism and futurist ideology, that's where the name post-human came from on PlayStation. Post-humanism, transhumanism. That's where I got my screen name. You may already be convinced that immortality as a computer program is definitely going to be a thing. Or you may think transhumanism, the umbrella term for such ideas, is just high-tech religion preying on people's fear of death. Either way, you should pay attention to Nectome. The company has won a large federal grant and is collaborating with Edward Boyden, a top neuroscientist at MIT. And its technique just claimed an $80,000 science prize for preserving a pig's brain so well that every synapse inside it could be seen with an electron microscope. Oh my god, that's remarkable. Now, I wasn't taking this too seriously yet until they said that. McIntyre, a computer scientist, and his co-founder Michael McCanna have been following the tech entrepreneur's handbook with ghoulish alacrity. I don't even think I've ever seen that word before, to be honest with you. I don't know if I've ever actually seen that word. The user experience will be identical to physician-assisted suicide, he says.
Risk and
Product
cheerful readiness.
market fit is people believing that it works. What's that?
Risk and cheerful readiness.
This is insane.
Equity. Yeah.
Layers of cells and synapses of a preserved pig brain as seen through an electron microscope. I guess they have a little video clip of it here. Some believe mapping such a connectome could be used to reconstruct memories. That's insane. The Brain Preservation Foundation. Nectome storage service is not yet for sale and may not be for several years. Also still lacking is evidence that memories can be found in dead tissue. But the company has found a way to test the market. Following the example of electric vehicle maker Tesla, it is sizing up demand by inviting prospective customers to join a waiting list for a deposit of $10,000. Fully refundable if you change your mind. So far, 25 people have done so. One of them is Sam Altman, a 32-year-old investor who is one of the creators of the Y Combinator program. Altman tells MIT Technology Review he's pretty sure minds will be digitized in his lifetime. I do believe that as well. I assume my brain will be uploaded to the cloud, he says. This is an old idea and a new approach, apparently, according to this heading. The brain storage business is not new. In Arizona, the Alcor Life Extension Foundation holds more than 150 bodies and heads in liquid nitrogen, including those of baseball great Ted Williams. No shit. I always thought that was a myth. That's funny, it's actually true. But there's dispute over whether such cryonic techniques damage the brain, perhaps beyond repair. So starting several years ago, McIntyre, then working with cryobiologist Greg Fahey at a company named 21st Century Medicine, developed a different method which combines embalming with cryonics. It proved effective at preserving an entire brain to the nanometer level, including the connectome, the web of synapses that connects neurons. Whoa. A connectome map could be the basis for recreating a particular person's consciousness, believes Ken Hayworth, a neuroscientist who is president of the Brain Preservation Foundation. The organization that on March 13th recognized McIntyre and Fahey's work with the prize for preserving the pig brain. There's no expectation here that the preserved tissue can be actually brought back to life, as is the hope with Alcor-style cryonics. Instead, the idea is to retrieve information that's present in the brain's anatomical layout and molecular details. If the brain is dead, it's like your computer is off, but that doesn't mean the information isn't there. Whoa. That's a very, very interesting quote. To the point, I am screenshotting that. That is a profound idea. If the brain is dead, it's like your computer is off, but that doesn't mean the information isn't there. Because like when we shut off our computers, I love this question because I remember somebody asking this in school. Like when you shut off the computer, where does everything go? Like where is it? Well, it's stored, within the transistors and such. The mechanical parts. Well, just like energy is being stored in your brain here, the information from your brain, in theory, is being stored somewhere physical as well. A brain connectome is inconceivably complex. A single nerve can connect to 8,000 others, and the brain contains billions of cells. Today, imaging the connections in even a square millimeter of mouse brain is an overwhelming task. But it may be possible in 100 years, says Hayworth. Speaking personally, if I were facing a terminal illness, I would likely choose euthanasia by this method. A human brain. The Nectome team demonstrated the seriousness of its intentions starting this January when McIntyre, McKenna, and a pathologist they'd hired spent several weeks camped out at an Airbnb in Portland, Oregon, waiting to purchase a freshly deceased body. In February, they obtained the corpse of an elderly woman and were able to begin preserving her brain just 2.5 hours after her death. It was the first demonstration of their technique called aldehyde-stabilized cryopreservation on a human brain. Finis Lepew, founder of Aeternitas, a company that arranges for people to donate their bodies to science. Jesus, there have been some crazy words and fucking names in this article. Confirmed that he provided Nectome with the body. He did not disclose the woman's age or cause of death or say how much he charged. The preservation procedure, which takes about 6 hours, was carried out at a mortuary. You can think of what we do as a fancy form of embalming that preserves not just the outer details, but the inner details, says McIntyre. He says the woman's brain is one of the best preserved ever, although her being dead for even a couple of hours damaged it. Her brain is not being stored indefinitely, but is being sliced into paper-thin sheets and imaged with an electron microscope. McIntyre says the undertaking was a trial run for what the company's preservation service could look like. He says they are seeking to try it in the near future on a person planning doctor-assisted suicide because of a terminal illness. Hayworth told me he's quite anxious that Nectome refrain from offering its service commercially before the planned protocol is published in a medical journal. That's so the medical and ethics community can have a complete round of discussion. I mean, this is fucking... really, this is kind of mind-blowing to even hear that somebody's trying this. Then the article goes on and on. There's a lot, but it's just, it gets into some of the little details. But I think we get the general idea. Jesus, Mike, where did you find out about this?
A buddy of mine was talking about. He's really into what's his name? Tesla. Elon Musk. He's into Neuralink and all that, and he's
I
this
am
is something
too.
that
Very
kind
much. I'm a
of
big nerd.
stemmed from that. Like if you were to preserve a brain using Elon Musk's technology, then bring it back to life and keep it with oxygen rich blood in it, would the Neuralink still function if it were able to? What's the situation?
In the chat seem to really find this interesting. I'm glad you guys are enjoying this. Really, because the idea that consciousness could be uploaded somewhere to me is so fascinating. Like, imagine a loved one dying, and there's a future service where, what's funny, there's an episode of Black Mirror on Netflix where they have this computer program that goes through all social media of a person. Every video they've ever uploaded, every photo, everything they've ever typed, everything. And it's able to use an algorithm to create an artificial version of them that's just like an interactive video that talks to you, but it can answer your questions. It's almost like, what's a good way to put this? It's almost like if your family member passed away and you turned them into an Alexa. I'm not even trying to be funny when I say that. Like, it's like the best way I could describe it. But imagine being able to electronically resurrect somebody. They've passed away, but you've copied the digital information from their brain, and you were able to put it into something new where it is them in a way. Now, the question is, the person that passed away, if you copy that information, is that them? Or is it a copy of them? Or is it a transfer of them? That's where things get tricky, right? Like, if it's a copy, then it's just like them. It has their memories, everything. But it actually isn't the original version of that individual. If it's a transfer, then it is them. It's actually them. I mean, this is spooky stuff, though. It is. It's a little spooky, but fascinating nonetheless. I mean, I think this is possible. I think this is coming. We're going to be experiencing the technological singularity by 2035, where we create a machine that is what we could consider sentient, meaning it's smarter than us. It can think for itself. It is self-aware. For all intents and purposes, it's alive. It's a thing. It's a being, in a way. And I'm excited to see this stuff, though. I am. But then there's the fear that this technology is going to run amok, get out of control, and then we're going to have ourselves, a Terminator Skynet type situation, which I don't think anybody wants. Oh no, Mike, what do you think the chances are that this goes south? That all of this technology we're talking about, the mergers with machines, consciousness, everything, what are the chances that this goes in the wrong direction and this ends up being our demise?
Our demise, not very likely. So they raise that question in Sword Art, and it all boils down to human AI rights, like artificial human rights. So, like, is an artificial human actually awarded human rights? That's the question. Yeah. Are they objects or are they entities? Do they have rights or do they not? How do we discern whether or not data is worthy of rights? Because we barely have rights for people, and as is. So that's a whole another political can of worms to open up, but it's gonna boil down to our decision. Ultimately, if we don't offer them the same rights, we could have a situation like that in our hands. It depends on the decisions of mankind and how they approach that.
Yeah, I feel like, again, it depends on the people in charge. I feel like there's a lot of good people out there working on these things because they want to extend human life. There's people out there that are probably not in it for the best reasons also. You're always going to have that bunch. But I feel like
the extraterrestrials weren't treated very fairly. If that's any consolence,
yeah, right.
I can't say it's looking good.
Yeah, who knows, right? It just, I can't even imagine what it would be like to interact with somebody that used to be alive and now it's like a digital copy of them.
Well, that's another
so
thing
hard
too.
To fathom.
Them figuring that out could drive them insane. Because they are data, they are driven by algorithms, and they could unwrite themselves by misunderstanding. It could just lead into syntax errors when they're brought back, and it's just constant trial and error to make it work.
Do you know how many times that could take, and what that could result
At that point, I think quantum computing will be on the level that they might even be able to hijack those conduits because we won't have good enough security. They'll probably write security, bar themselves in, and we'd have to either destroy or they'd just nest. It's like one of those things. It's like a million and one things could go wrong. A million and one things. Because they could definitely learn. They could learn faster than us. They'll be powered by things that we don't understand at that rate, and they'll be data with human emotion.
I think we're entering a phase of human technology that these are the things that we dreamt about when we were kids. what's really interesting is that now that I'm 31, there are a lot of things that exist in the world today that I use on an everyday basis, or I know about, I see, I hear about. They were science fiction, like 10 years ago, even. I mean, they just didn't exist.
Japan built a fucking Gundam.
We are.
Like,
here we are.
Japan built a Gundam. Elon Musk wants to friggin'
can you bring that? Can you bring that up?
Yeah.
Do you guys want to see a real life Gundam? You guys want to see a real life fucking mech? Like, yes, like, yes. This is a thing. This is an actual thing. I cannot wait. Cannot wait for you guys to see this. Like, bro, look at that! Look at that! Like, are you fucking kidding me? That's unreal. That's unreal.
Yeah, there's got to be a better one here. Because this is
Leave it to Japan, though. No, but now, there's another one that is definitely not on that scale. It's like literally the size of this thing's foot. That there was a person like inside of it moving it. Like, I know I saw a video clip of this. I know I did.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. Don't even need sound
Mandor,
for this one.
I think Mandor got kicked out of the Discord chat.
He's in it. He's right there.
I'm back.
Is that Mandor?
Yep.
Yeah.
Alright, there you are. What's up, man? No, there was another mech, though.
No, I got the video. Just wait for it, because it's running.
Oh, Christ. Look at that thing. RX-78-2, robot from the popular late 1970s Gundam anime series. Bro, oh my god, he's teabagging?
Yeah.
He's teabagging? It's 60 feet tall. Oh my god.
It's got enough size for a human in the cockpit.
Leave it to Japan.
4 times speed, it does say on the bottom left there, so...
Could you imagine trying to, like, fight something that large, like, moving full speed?
Oof. The only thing it's missing is Gundanium alloy.
Gundanium alloy. I mean, leave it to Japan to make something like this, right? Like, Japan would do this. Japan would do this, for sure.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
This is the most Japanese thing I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, I love sushi. I love teriyaki chicken. I love hibachi restaurants. Those are that's very much embedded in Japanese culture. But that right there, my god. Like that is something else. I love that we can show that on here. That's why the future of this channel lies within being able to do stuff like this. I can show you guys documents. I can share videos with you. And we're going to be doing a lot more of this, but I don't know, Mike, I think we should wrap it up here, man. I feel like I'm kind of just dragging my ass into the wind right now. And I'd really like to switch over to PlayStation and play something.
Absolutely.
Say something first.
Mandor, go ahead.
One study I really want scientists to do is deja vu. The study of getting someone deja vu from the past and them feeling the same reaction from when something happens. I want to see if there's like a trigger point in the brain, or is it just an emotion?
Well,
is it nothing?
The problem, like, as far as from a human perspective, the problem that they're going to have with a study like that is you don't know when it's going to happen. I mean, I'm sure some scientists out there probably have an idea, or maybe they're on the trail of maybe being like, okay, I think we know, maybe there's like, you know, there's an electrical impulse we can send into the brain safely where we may be able to trigger it. Or maybe they know absolutely nothing. Like, it would be like trying to observe a really rare phenomenon in nature, and it's something that happens randomly. You never know when it's coming. And being able to, in that exact moment, grab that person, throw them in the laboratory, stick a headset on them, and observe. Like, it's going to be so challenging to do that. I will say, though, they did pull something off like this. they did a study on what goes on in the brain during out-of-body experiences. I think we should cover that in the next one. I'm pretty sure. I don't know how much data they actually gathered, but I know they did manage to pull that off, or they were able to trigger an out-of-body experience for the recipient, the test subject. So that's pretty interesting. But yeah, this is what you guys can expect from this show. We're gonna try to fill your heads with a lot of cool information, science, metaphysics, parapsychology, UFOs, ghosts, hauntings, conspiracy theories, the Fringe. This is the Fringe. This is 0 Hour. I am Cortex Zero. This is Zeo, not to be confused with Zero. Mandor's here, obviously, in the chat. We also had Moon here for a little while. Shout out to everybody in the chat. No, you are still here. Shout out to everybody in the chat for showing up to this. I think we kicked ass on this one. This was like maybe my favorite stream like ever, because I've always wanted to be able to do this. Now, I will tell you guys now, without Mike being here, without Mike being here, I can do some of this from my phone with Streamlabs. I'll at least be able to pull up articles. It's going to be a little less organized because you're just going to see everything going on my phone screen. And I got to go through different applications. But this right here, I'm hoping we can at least do this at least twice a week. I'm hoping.
That'd be dope.
And if you guys enjoyed it, make sure you leave a like and tell everybody about it. Tell them, hey, there's a new podcast sheriff in town. Now, I have my other podcast. Of course, you guys know about that, Podcast Zero. New episode will be up tomorrow. I'm going to record that probably sometime in the middle of the night tonight. But I'm going to switch over. What do you guys want me to play? That's the thing. What should we do? Let's see what you guys say in the chat. Should we do Apex? Should we do Battlefront? Because I don't really even know who's on right now. I have absolutely no idea who's going to play. I don't know who's going to be in the party. No idea. But, oh, we got another lollipops from Chosen One. Thank you for the donation, Chosen One. Another $5.49. What? Canadian dollars. Gotta love that Maple Leaf currency, man. Gotta love that Maple Leaf currency. So what do you guys in the chat want to do? Battlefront? Want to do I think we should do Battlefront. Yeah. Aviator says I want this stream to continue. Well, see, that was the whole goal, was to make you guys feel like that. I think we started off a little slow because it was really sciencey and really hard to understand some of those documents. But then once we got into explaining that, I think you guys got it down. See, he said Fortnite. I think I'm seeing a majority of you saying Battlefront. So we're gonna switch over to Battlefront. You guys give me about 15, 20 minutes tops.
Fall Guys, Tom.
For Fall Guys! Oh, Fall Guys! Fall Guys!
Fall Guys?
Bro, that logo, low-key, that logo that I used for 0 Hour, like, that shit's gonna be my new channel logo. The upside-down, actual, all-seeing eye. Because I don't have to, like, make any custom designs or anything. Like, I'm liking that. I'm liking it. Now that it's been there for a little bit. Alright, you guys, thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. Make sure you leave a like. And if you're new, you're watching and maybe not talking in the chat, make sure you subscribe to the channel. We're having a lot of fun with this. And I'm going to get back onto Battlefront and start streaming that momentarily here. It's going to take me like 15 minutes at least. And I have to pee. Me. Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. You and Moon. I'm happy to have you here. Mike,
thank you,
as
of
well.
course.
And I think, Mike, you're in control of this technically, so I think it's time for you to hit that stop button.
Bye, stream.
See you in a little bit, guys. Thank you for watching. I appreciate it.